So Tua Tagovailoa, obviously, he had a very good start to the season, but then it got bumpy real quick. Obviously, with the concussion injuries, he had like 3 concussions on the year, which is not good. And obviously, the Miami Dolphins need to take the next step. They have the talent clearly with Tyreek Hill we've seen this year, and barely snuck in the playoffs. So you got to evaluate: do we need more of a strong suit at quarterback? Jake, the Miami Dolphins fan, where do we go from here with Tua after year 3?
And Jalen Waddle, by the way. Not only Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle.
Right.
Um, I think at some point, if you're Tua Tagovailoa, I think at some point you gotta think about your future, and think you gotta think about, can I live a normal life with these concussions? Concussions is a scary thing. Um, we saw it, you know, we saw it against the Bengals where he got slammed to the ground. And then we just saw it a couple weeks ago against the Packers. Um, I think the biggest issue here is the helmet he wears. I think it doesn't lock his head into place. His head just kind of slides around. So whenever he goes down, his head kind of snaps back. Um, yeah, I mean, I think you just got to think about your future here. There have been some rumors on the Dolphins not bringing Tua back. There have been some discussions on the Dolphins bringing
Okay.
Tua back.
Before we get to that, I want to respond to what you said because I'm going to challenge you a little bit, and then we can
Okay.
get to the football side of that because we were talking about the injury side of that. So Tua, it knows, and maybe he does pull an Andrew Luck and decides to retire, and we would not fault him that for that at all, because he's had tons of injuries. We would understand that. Uh, but you look at it, you've got guys like Junior Seau who used to play in the league, tons of other players who have, dealt with this. What I'm saying though is yes, it's a terrible incident on each. We need to develop rules, concussion rules. In the case of Damar Hamlin, maybe, where you can lean your, that might be tricky to do, but there may be rules and come in place with the injury of Damar Hamlin. But all these guys know what they're signing up for. That's the thing. Tua knows he's a grown man. He doesn't need people to tell him what to sign up for. The NFL will pay you millions. It will set you up for life, but it also does have those health effects, which, yes, that could be a debate we need to have if one day, and, as serious as it was last week, if a player does die on the field, we are going to have that debate. Hopefully we don't. But we also always have to have that plan B. But the players know what they sign up for. So my point to yours is that maybe he should retire, is that I think if that's his ultimate decision, I will 100% respect it because football is a real sport. But that should be his decision. That shouldn't be anyone else's decision. And if he feels like he can keep playing, then it's the NFL. You're making millions. I say chase your dream, but that's up to him. And that should be his decision. That's why I got to say that. But
Yeah, I completely agree with it. It should be his decision. And now getting back to the football side of
let's talk about the
things, I
football.
think,
Yeah, I just wanted to
yeah,
have that. But yeah, yeah.
now getting back to the football side of things, like I said, there's rumors of, the Dolphins not bringing Tua back, and there's rumors of the Dolphins bringing Tua back. I think if the Dolphins don't bring Tua back, I think Max Duggan, from TCU, who we were talking about earlier, um, could be a nice addition to this quarterback room. I think, Stetson Bennett could be a nice addition to this quarterback room too. I think, I've heard rumors about the Dolphins going after Lamar Jackson. He's not happy in Baltimore. Um, another draft quarterback I like is Hendon Hooker from Tennessee.
Yeah, no, Dugan, no Hendon Hooker, maybe, but if Lamar Jackson's on the table, that's who Miami has to chase. They have to. I don't like Lamar Jackson. I as a person, obviously Titans fan, we have some beef with him, but I don't even think he's the best quarterback. But in terms of being a football player, Lamar Jackson is a great football player. I'm not saying he's a great quarterback. He's a good quarterback. He's a great football player. He will elevate that team, especially with Lamar Jackson and Tyreek Hill is just unfair. The speed on in the passing game and the running game, that would be unfair. So, me and you have talked about this in private. We've talked about New Orleans possibly being a place where, Jackson could go, but New Orleans has no money. It's a nice fit. but they don't have the money. Miami has the money. Atlanta has the money. I know they have Desmond Ridder. They might want to stick it out. Any team that has the money and is mid-level is going to consider Lamar Jackson, just in the fact that what he could do on the ground for them and what he can do as a football player for them. You got to consider that. But with Tua specifically, you think that's going to affect their decision? They wanted to get rid of Tua last offseason. You think that's going to affect their decision if Lamar Jackson's around? Or I don't think they should go after Aaron Rodgers, but if Aaron, like the Miami Dolphins would jump on that in a second, because like you said earlier in this show, Greer, he's an aggressive GM and he will make the moves he feels is right. But